Welcome to the Rooted Warriors, the podcast where the bonds of sisterhood are not just celebrated, but explored through laughter, tears, and everything in between. Join me and my two dearest friends as we dive deep into the roots of our own friendships, sharing stories and challenges. Whether you're looking for inspiration, advice, or just a good story, we're here to bring a piece of our sisterhood right into your life.
Hey, Rooted Warriors, Greg here, filling in for Kat one more time. And today, we're going to switch things up. This episode is about stories, laughter, and looking back. I'm sitting down with Gina and Moe for a full-on Gen X style interview. Think mixtapes, awkward school moments, and the stuff that made us who we are. It's part throwback, part heart check, and totally unscripted. Let's jump in.
Good afternoon.
Hey.
What is up?
Welcome back.
Hey.
Welcome back, Connor.
Yeah.
You guys got a nicer studio than we have.
Well, we're girls. We're girls. So that's to be expected.
Very well
Gen X is
decorated.
rad, though.
Yeah.
We love our brothers.
I
And
was
we
just
do
watching
the,
it this morning.
Yeah.
The dinner style, the dinner table style interview episodes. So
Oh,
we
that's
sit
so
at the
cool.
old style dinner table.
I love it.
It's very Gen X.
I
Even though
love
we
it.
didn't have a dinner table growing up.
Mm-mm.
When I tell people that, they think it's weird.
Really? Well, I mean, I would think so too. 4 kids. I mean, 6
They
people.
just make a plate and go sit on the floor somewhere.
That's crazy.
For sure.
It's so hippie, though, too. Like, in some ways, I'm not surprised. It's very hippie of them.
It seems like it's kind of practical too, though.
It is kind of practical. You have to do any cleaning of the table, setting of the table.
Yeah, the
None
whole
of
thing.
that.
Everyone can just come in and make a plate whenever they're ready. It's like dinner's ready,
Yeah.
and that was it.
Do you have a kitchen table now that you sit at and have dinner?
Like about a year ago, I bought one of those the TV trays. Most of the time, we sit in the living room and watch a show.
That's so
We're
funny.
like empty nesting
That's
now.
how
Like
Bob
the
and
kids,
I are
when
now.
the kids were in the house, we really tried to do a disciplined dinner table, sit
Yes.
down at the dinner table. And my question always was, what was the best part of your day?
That's a great
So
question.
I would ask the kids what was the best part of their day. And that was kind of like what would spur conversation. It was always
Right.
expected that they had to come with something and tell about the best part of their day. But yeah, as the kids got older and now that it's just us in the house, like, yeah, not so much.
That's how Bob and I are now.
We
Like,
eat
we
in- we
used
eat in
to
bed.
be different.
Take our,
Yeah.
why don't you just go eat in bed?
Yeah, I love that.
being
I
grown
love
up.
that. Being grown up is fun.
Because we also have those trays that you put like when you're sick. So we just put those on our lap.
This
and
is
we just sit in
classic.
but I
This
also
is
feel
classic.
very grandpa-ish doing that.
That is so great. I love that.
Yeah, because as a kid, the only place you got to go that you got to eat on TV trays would be your grandparents'
Yes.
house.
Yeah,
Yes.
grandma's.
So you're old officially.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm Googling TV trays
I know,
right now.
right? Literally,
right?
I'm on Amazon.
We're
buying
bringing
it.
them back. Bringing back the TV trays.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Bob and I love to eat dinner and watch whatever series we're watching now. It's like I can't eat unless I'm watching my series.
Yeah.
But do you have a TV tray?
No, but now I'm going to get one. I'm telling you, I'm going to go on Amazon and order one. Mine's going to have pretty flowers.
Yeah.
For
Remember
sure.
the tin top ones?
Yeah, they were
Yeah,
cool.
that's what the
You know
super
what?
lightweight ones. That's what I
Yeah.
didn't want. So I got these really good. I like spent the money and bought oversized, so they're big and they're heavy wood ones.
Oh, that's nice.
Nice. That's fancy.
I'm going to
So,
go to
yeah.
an antique store and buy mine. Watch me.
Yeah.
It's on the list.
I forget sometimes that I'm the grown up in the house. So
Yeah.
I can eat cookie dough before or while I'm making dinner.
Well,
like
yeah.
I can do whatever I want.
You're the boss.
right?
Yeah.
Like what's for dinner? It's cookie dough tonight.
Yeah,
it's
all
fun for
night.
your yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget.
We're having yogurt meal tonight, kids.
Yay! Right? I forget, but man, TV trays.
Yeah. My grandma had those too.
I eat while I cook.
Yeah.
So dinner comes and I'm full.
Oh.
Yeah,
and now
that's-
serving everybody else. And I'm like, not full. Ate like,
Gordon Ramsay said, taste everything you make. So
Yeah.
I'm just following instructions.
It's
Yep.
not my fault I had 3 helpings.
Yeah, that's right.
I cook fucking great.
That would be my problem. But I think we eat in the living room. Not that we watch too much TV because we don't, but I think we like scatter.
Yeah, Bob and I are definitely on this like series kick. Like we're loving it. But we just got done with fall and winter. So like now like we need to start taking walks in the evening and doing other stuff besides just chilling and watching TV. But like for me, because I go all day, I'm talking to people all day. Like I like it because I just decompress.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't have to think. Like I'm just in my zone, and then we'll have like Like I'll have a glass of port and have a drink and then we just talk. And I'm like, oh, this is nice.
Do you have a spot like in your backyard that you could go eat, like a table that you
Yes.
could go eat at? That's the other thing I want to start doing a little more. So we've got a little table out on the back deck
Yeah.
and stuff.
We
Like,
have
go
it. I
out
just don't
and-
use it.
Yeah, I want to try and mix that in a little more
I like that.
before the mosquitoes show up.
Yeah, because it will be. That's a good idea. I like
Start
that
getting
idea.
out a little more.
Yeah, I like that. Well, today is our question day.
Ooh, yeah.
I got some
And-
questions I think will be fun.
Give us one, Greg. Give us
Let's
one of your
see.
questions. What do you got?
So let's see. One thing that you did as a kid that would get you arrested today.
Well, I probably was arrested for it.
I would say riding in the back of a truck.
Yeah.
We had a friend
Yep.
that would come. He had an El Camino, and Alan would come through. He would just like drive around the neighborhoods and pick all of us up, and then we would ride with like 12 kids in the back of his El Camino to school in the morning while he would do burnouts and try and throw someone out of the back of the truck.
Oh my God. What a bunch of roughnecks.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we weren't like required to wear seatbelts.
Nope.
Yeah, no seatbelt.
Or
Mm-mm.
trying to think of where were there car seats?
No.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, driving around with your kid, not in a car seat.
Yeah,
We
not
were
even
just
with a
hopping around the
seatbelt.
back.
In the back of the truck.
Yeah,
I mean, Garrett fell out of a Jeep
True.
while in motion.
yeah, right outside of
know?
Toys R Us.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Those were crazy times.
Yeah, but they were fun. But yeah, I remember riding in the back of a truck all the way from Ripon to Manteca, not Manteca to Modesto. And it was freezing cold outside and it was dark. And being back there with no jacket, no nothing. Taking
Yeah.
the ride on the freeway going 60 miles an hour
Oh my God.
in the back of a truck.
Speaking of things that we get, that day that Garrett fell out of the Jeep, I don't know if you remember what we did that day and what we were on the way home from.
Mm-mm.
Dad, I don't know where we used to go around here that Dad could do this. He had that Jeep and he would drive the Jeep into the river, whatever, the Stanislaus River. I don't know what river we were going to or where it was. He would drive that into the water so we could jump off the Jeep into the water
Oh my
and
God.
play
No way.
in and out of the Jeep in the river.
Oh my God.
That would get you arrested today.
That would get you
Go
arrested
Park
today.
your vehicle in one of these
Oh
rivers
my
right now in California.
God.
Watch what happens.
You can't even like step a toesy in there.
Yeah.
What the heck? Yeah, no, that would
Wow.
definitely get you arrested for sure.
Mhm.
And like going to McHenry with all your friends jammed into somebody's truck, there'd be like 4 or 5 of us in there, and the guy's driving, 3 or 4 girls in there. You got drinks in your hand, Boone's Farm in your hand, drinking it as you're going along. Can you imagine? Like,
right?
first of all, if our kids pulled that shit, we'd be pissed. I would have been furious if my kids pulled some of that shit.
Yeah.
I think I don't have an answer because I was such a scared child. But I think it does remind me a lot of like orchard parties.
Yeah.
And then it reminds me of Garrett racing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Down some back road where you knew you were going to get in trouble.
Out the
for
country
it.
roads out here.
Yeah.
I know they used to go to a place. I don't know where exactly. I used to remember the name of the road out here going towards Escalon, where there are train tracks that if you hit them at the right speed, you can jump your car.
Yes.
And I think they used to go out there and jump
Jump
their
their
cars,
cars.
too. Garrett and all of his redneck friends.
Garrett and I got left at an orchard party one time. So we were at an orchard party and, you know, we were probably off making out or something. And then the cops showed up. And so everyone left the orchard party, including our ride. So we come out, we're like, what the hell? Where is everyone at? Everyone's gone. And we're in Escalon. And I'm not even supposed to be out. I snuck out that night to go to this party with Garrett. So we have to walk all the way back from Escalon to Ripon.
Because there's no cell phones.
There's no cell phones and it's cold out because it's like a fall night. Garrett and I are walking in the orchards and these dogs start chasing us. So Garrett's like trying to run, which Garrett wasn't much of a runner. So I'm like running like a bat at hell. And I look back and Garrett falls over a freaking sprinkler and hurts his freaking knee.
Yeah.
So now he's got a hurt knee. We're not even halfway home. So we're walking down River Road all the way back home. We don't get home to Ripon until like 4 a.m. We knock on one of his friend's door and he's like, hey, can Monica sleep here until the morning and then use your phone to call her mom to like get this all situated before, because if she goes and sneaks back in now, her dad's going to catch her.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm going to go home. And is that okay? And I don't even remember what friend it was. They lived over there by where Walgreens is now.
Shannon.
It must have been Shannon.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
So anyways, I stayed there. I didn't sleep. I just sat on the couch until it was time that I knew my dad would be at work. Called my mom and like, hey, I snuck out. I got caught. Like, I got to come. Like, can I come home now that dad's gone? And she let me come back, obviously, without telling on me. But that was just a wild night. It was a weird, funny night. But that kind of shit now, oh my God.
How about swimming in canals?
Well, I don't swim, so I almost drowned in a canal.
Swimming in canals.
That was like just after. That's what we did on graduation day. High school graduation, they let us out of school early. You got to be back at 6 p.m. or whatever for your graduation. We went and swam canal the whole afternoon. That's what we did.
Dude.
So I don't know who it was, but it was one of Becca's friends because Becca kind of ventured out and got more friends where I was just Becca's friend. You know what I mean? But one of our friends lived in Spring Creek. And her first car was a convertible Rabbit.
Oh,
wow, that's cool.
Yes.
A little cabriolet.
Yep.
That's
and I remember, and so Becca's dad was either chief of police or sergeant at the Ripon Police Department. So twice we've gotten pulled over by her dad.
Oh my God.
And one of the times we had jumped, where's the canal around here? Like Wilma Overpass, like right under it.
That's the one I almost drowned on.
Okay.
Yeah.
We were there and he found us before GPS and we were in so much trouble and we were soaking wet and we had to ride home in the cop car. And then another time was on Halloween. We weren't it's probably our freshman, sophomore year. Not supposed to be in cars with other people. And then we had little devil lights on our ears. And got pulled over and he took us home again.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Always in trouble by her dad.
We used to go as a family and go swim in the canals.
Oh yeah. Like that's normal. Remember when they would flood the orchards?
Yeah, that too.
You just swim in the orchard?
Yeah.
Yes. Or go run through the sprinklers in the orchards.
You know how much shit and pesticides must have been in that orchard?
Oh yeah, for sure. Same thing. All the sprinklers, we thought, oh yeah, the sprinklers don't go run through the orchard sprinklers. That's canal water.
Oh my God, so gross.
Going in your mouth.
But we survived. We survived.
You did.
Look at us,
You did.
right? We did not
Thriving.
die.
Thriving.
Yeah.
A couple of parasites, but
yeah.
Okay, so what weird or funny nickname did you have as a kid and how did you get it?
Really? Do I have to tell this story?
You sure do.
It must have been like my junior year in high school. I used to hang around with a bunch of the Ripon Christian kids.
Okay.
I had a group of friends that was all from Ripon Christian, and we were at an orchard party. And we also hung. So I had a friend who had an older brother that was like already 21. This is how we used to get our booze. Was from the older brother crowd and all his friends, 5 or 6 years older than us. And he worked in Tracy at one of the car dealerships. And he was at work and he was walking around at work and found a little button or something like a magnet that went on a refrigerator. And the magnet said practice girth control. And he had never heard the word girth before. He didn't know what it was or what it meant.
We know where this is going.
But that night, when we were at this orchard party drinking, this word girth was stuck in his head and he started calling me girth. It was just, you're a girth. He didn't know what it meant.
Oh my God.
Or that it was like a fat people joke or anything like that. He just started calling me girth and it stuck and everyone called me girth. And that was my nickname, not even through high school. Like it carried into the Marine Corps and all my Marine Corps friends called me girth.
No way.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Girth. Man. Just let them think what
I
they'll
haven't been called that in probably 20 or 30 years now, but that's a good one. My goofy high school nickname.
That's a good one. What about you, Gina?
Well, dickhead. I don't know. I never had a
girth and dickhead.
I never had. What are you, a dickhead? I don't know. I don't remember ever having
a nickname.
No. No. My mom said that when I was a baby, my dad called me Bug because when I was crawling, I would like pick up any little tiny thing off the floor with my little pinchers like this.
That's cute.
Put it in your mouth.
Put it in your mouth, probably. Yeah.
But that's it.
That was the only nickname you had?
Yeah.
Wow.
And now everybody calls me Jenna.
Yeah.
Everybody.
I call you Jean. I've called you Jean forever. It's because it's just like a lazy way of saying Gina.
Garrett, what was Garrett?
Icky.
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 And
Remember he had a
Ginger
tattoo.
was Sissy. But yeah, neither one of us really had a family nickname. I was Little Greg.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, forever.
And who still calls? Someone just called me that.
I
the
call
other
you
day.
Little Greg.
Oh God, Dennis and Debbie.
Yeah, but no, I was just talking to someone on the phone who called me Little Greg the other day. I'm like, I'm bigger than him now. I am no longer Little Greg. He gets to be Little Greg.
No, he is Little Greg. He's skinny as a rail right now.
Oh my goodness.
He's Little Greg.
Yeah. Wow. What was yours?
So I had a few nicknames, but the number one I had was my mom used to call me Taco because I'm half Mexican. So she called me Taco.
Hang on, that's pretty racist.
And then when I was a kid, I gave myself a nickname, The Mon. M-O-N, because my name is Monica. So it was The Mon. So I would sign thing The Mon.
The self-assigned nickname is pretty bold. That's a bold move, I think.
Hey, you got to do it before they do it
sometimes
to you.
Sometimes you just got to take hold of it.
Before they do it to you. Oh my God. What do you got, Gina?
Never had a.
That's
a
crazy.
Nickname. Who is your like famous person crush when you were like 7th, 8th, like around there? Like,
I don't know if I really had, like, I was never really like and I'm still not like this one celebrity girl. Like anything
like
she's
Ellie
in, I watch. Like,
McPherson.
I was never really like that except for, I think, Christina Applegate from Married with Children.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
So I think because that's like high school years.
Yeah.
And she was like the little bombshell. And then she was a little bit like a dirty girl because of the Bundys
She
and
was
all that stuff.
grungy.
So yeah, Kelly Bundy. And then when I moved out after high school, I moved in with my buddies from high school. I had like that. I graduated high school, didn't want to go into boot camp until after summer.
Right.
I want a summer to party
That
before
way
I
you
take
can
off for boot
enjoy.
camp. Right.
Yeah.
So I moved in with some friends of mine and we had a Kelly Bundy poster in our living room.
Oh, that makes sense.
So that's the only one I can think of is.
what
as far
about
as
the?
the
Did
crush
you used
goes.
to have a poster of the weird science lady?
I do still have that poster, but the poster I had in my bedroom when I was a kid was the one of Heather Locklear in the pink bikini with her thumb like in the little waistband like this.
Oh, I remember that one.
yeah,
I
like
remember
super
that.
famous
Yeah.
80s poster
Yeah.
of Heather Locklear. But I don't even know where I got that. It was just my
Uncle
whole
Dwayne.
bedroom, if you remember, was all skateboard, all stuff's out of magazines. But that was one of the posters that I had in there was the Heather Locklear.
That's funny. What about you, Gina?
Well, we know yours is Alan Thicke.
Mine's Alan Thicke. We already know that. It's already a done deal. He's old and hot. Go.
But you couldn't get an Alan Thicke poster when you were in high school or something. Like, what do you
I
put
didn't.
on your wall?
No, I had what's his name? The faith guy, George Michael.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't know he was gay. But he was hot. Like, because I like dark hair. I like that skin tone that he had. And his eyes were really pretty. So,
And he's still one of the best male vocalists of all time.
not even a question.
One of the best male vocalists
Not
ever.
even a question. But I was super attracted to him. So I had him up. And then when New Kids came out, I loved Donnie Wahlberg because I really loved his brother, Marky Mark. And I had some Marky Mark posters. So that was like later. But I also liked John Bon Jovi. I liked how he looked too. So I had a couple of his posters. But Alan Thicke was my crush for sure. Yeah.
TV dad.
loved
I had a poster of him though
Corey Haim.
Yeah.
with Kirk Cameron.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was a picture in Bop magazine.
I loved Corey Haim. And then I loved River Phoenix.
Yeah.
They were my favorites.
Yeah. I could see that.
For sure.
I could totally see that.
Like what? Like Lost Boys, Corey Haim?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. License to drive.
License to Drive. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Dream a Little Dream.
Yeah, those would be my crushes who I thought I was gonna marry.
How about fashion choices? What do you embarrass? You probably have a photo of yourself wearing it or a hairdo that you had back in the 80s
I had
or
the
90s.
worst hair ever. Like
Me
worst
too.
hair ever. I didn't have the cool 80s hair. It was just like weird. But worse than me was Robin next door.
You did have like the bangs
Oh, yeah.
and the whole.
But they weren't.
You and Robin
it
would
wasn't
both do
cute.
that.
It wasn't cute. It was not.
Yeah.
And I would say the worst thing that I remember ever wearing was parachute pants.
Oh my God.
Like the MC
I can't imagine you
Hammer.
wearing that. Does that
I
make sense?
wanted parachute pants so bad when they came out, and guys started wearing those to school.
Mm-hmm.
I never got to have any of the cool stuff.
I don't know how I think, remember
You
Kobe
got
and
them
Corey?
3 years after they were cool. You got them from
Probably.
a garage sale.
Probably.
That's exactly where she got them.
Do you remember Kobe and Corey that lived in the other court where Justin lives now? Justin Van Groningen.
Kinda. I remember somebody over there. that we
Kobe
used
was older and Corey was more my age. They were cool kids. So I'm going to say they probably weren't my pants and I borrowed them.
Right.
And they probably had the parachute pants.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Back when kids borrowed clothes, I don't think that's not even a thing anymore.
No way.
No.
I couldn't have
No.
borrowed anybody's clothes unless it was like somebody 10
munchkin.
years younger than
Somebody
me.
tiny.
Yeah.
A munchkin.
A 7-year-old.
Yeah, I didn't have any cool clothes. So like, and I didn't like, all my stuff looked terrible. Like I always had like rough skin jeans with holes in them, and I never had anything cool. I had really bad hairstyle because I have really straight hair. So the only way that my hair really looked good was parted down the middle, long. But that wasn't the style then. You know, everybody had it ratted up.
Yeah.
So I would like try to curl mine. I'd use like a can of Aquanet to try to make this thing work. And it never looked right. It always looked a little goofy. So I would like put it all the way to the side and then like create a poof like that. It was so lame. And then I didn't have like another girl in the house to like help me look cool. So it was a mess. I was a freaking mess. So fashion was not my thing, but all of it was bad. It was all bad. There was nothing good. Nothing good to report on fashion for me, for sure.
No, I always felt like a poor kid in a rich town, and all the other kids had the Z Cavaricis and the La Tigre
The
shirts
cool
and all
shit.
the stuff that I couldn't have, Nike shoes that I never really had. So it was when I got a skateboard and discovered that there was an alternative to that, and I could be punk rock,
Yeah, be a
and I
little
could
grungy.
shop at just be grungy and shop at
Yeah.
the Rippin' thrift store that used to be over there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And go buy the old man plaid pants and cut them off at the knees and
Be
just
cool.
be as weird as possible was my cool.
Yeah.
Bright yellow pants and dye my hair orange. I like bleached my hair out with, remember sun in?
Yes.
Oh my
I
gosh.
put way too much sun in my hair one day and bleached my hair out orange.
This is how
Yeah.
stupid I was. I thought that to bleach your hair that you could use Clorox bleach and like bleach your hair. So one time I was in our laundry room with the bleach trying to bleach my dark brown hair, and my mom came in. She's like, "Why does it smell like bleach in here?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm bleaching my hair." And she's like, "With what?" I'm like, "With Clorox." She's like, "That's not how you do it. Get that out of your hair right now." Like,
Melt
you're
your
gonna burn
scalp.
your scalp. And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And it didn't do anything to my scalp, but I didn't do anything to my hair at all.
It doesn't actually bleach hair?
Apparently not, because I had it in there and it
I
didn't
thought
do
it
anything.
would. I thought it would work.
I would think it would take it out, but it didn't do it. I don't know. I don't know what happened.
Bleaches my damn clothes.
Right? Okay, so what was your favorite after school snack or meal growing up?
We didn't have snacks. Mom
Wait,
didn't buy
what the
snacks.
hell?
No, we didn't have snacks.
You weren't allowed to have snack. If she did buy a snack, it was gone in a day.
Yeah.
Right, because you guys would
I
pillage through
remember
it.
like being home and like waiting. Dad would either open like a thing of like oysters
Oysters
or
or
something
not
and
sardines, but oysters or clams.
yeah,
The
and
smoked
eat it on a cracker.
Ritz cracker, a hunk of cheese,
Yep.
an oyster, and a squirt of mustard.
Yep.
That's disgusting.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
But
That
if
is
you wanted to be
foul.
cool with Dad, because
You
that was
ate it.
about
Or
the only
if you
time
were
of day.
starving,
Yeah.
yeah,
The only time of
you
day
ate
that
it.
he was kind of cool to be around
Ew.
Yeah.
was he would come home from work and immediately stand around the kitchen and do something like that. You either eat cheese and crackers or some
I remember
can
one
of,
time he made us homemade flour tortillas.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, at that house. Yeah. I don't know why. Just butter and then hand them to us. And we were like, what the hell?
But I tell people, because we grew up, we were bus kids and lived out in the almond orchards, that we would, certain times of year you could get away with this, we would go in the orchards and get almonds and crack them.
And eat them.
And no, because I didn't like raw almonds. So we would put them on a baking sheet and cover them in oil and salt and cook almonds.
Mhm.
So we had to cook what was around us. On Murphy's, we lived across the street from a vineyard.
Grapes.
So you'd go
Lime
across
grapes.
the street and get these bundles of grapes because we were left home alone all summer, and sometimes there was nothing to eat.
Oh my God.
So you would go across the street and go grab a bunch of grapes. And they had
that
seeds in
one
them.
side of the vineyard's all empty.
They were wine grapes, so they had seeds in them. So they were terrible to even have to eat.
And they
but
taste terrible.
Yeah.
you were so hungry that's what you ate. Almonds and grapes.
God.
Yeah.
On Santos, we had a peach tree, and none of those peaches went to waste.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And there was always Bisquick. I would make a shortcake. The Bisquick box had the recipe for shortcake on the side of it.
Yeah.
So I would make shortcake, and then you'd take the peaches and cut them up.
Yeah.
And put a little sugar in it and make like peach shortcake and stuff. I'm like 10, 11 years old. This was the kind of stuff we were doing.
You're
we
like
talk
Betty
about
Crocker.
one of the things that they say about us is the reason we don't feel like adults is because we've been doing adult shit since we were kids.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That reminds me of the book, The Boxcar Children. You guys remember that book? It was one of my favorite books. It's on my list of books that I like. It's a series. And they are away from home and they're living out of a boxcar. And they're like 9, 10 years old and they're cooking and making food for themselves. And it reminds me of the Boxcar Children.
Yeah.
But we've been adults our whole life.
Adults, right. Like those summers when the parents are just gone all day long. It wasn't like, all right, kids, here's what's for lunch. I got lunch is packed for you.
Yeah.
There was nothing like that.
No.
They were just gone.
No. Did you guys get school lunch?
Yeah. For free.
Yeah.
Free lunch.
I got reduced lunch. So what was your favorite school lunch?
Oh my God. Do you remember the peanut butter squares that came in the little white pastry bag?
Yes. How do you remember that?
Because it was my favorite thing. And then the cheese. Well, you would get the long welfare piece of cheddar block cheese.
Welfare cheese was the best cheese though.
No shit. Loved it. But back then they had good lunch. Like
they
you
did.
had Salisbury steak, mashed potatoes, green beans, and you had a dessert on a cobbler on your plate with your milk.
Apple cobbler.
Yes. Remember getting the calendar that would tell you what was going to be that whole month?
Oh my God.
And then you'd mark the one you were excited about. So like pizza day, everybody fucking had that mark.
Bean and cheese burrito day.
Oh, bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Nope. And I love the apple cobbler. That was one of my favorites.
Have you seen a school menu now?
No, I'm sure it's horrific.
That's gotta be terrible.
Horrific.
Yeah, that's sad.
I mean, just horrific.
Yeah, it's because they have so many rules they have to have. It can't have too much sodium, can't have too much sugar. Can't
it's
have
nothing like when we were kids.
Yeah, my thing is give them that. Let them go out and run and play and have a good time. And nobody was fat when we were kids.
No,
like I don't know. I mean, we weren't sitting inside all day either, though.
No, you weren't allowed to be inside.
No, your existence.
Is it my turn?
It's your turn. You're up.
What's your favorite 80s movie?
Ooh, this is hard because I have a lot of favorite 80s movies.
There were so many good ones.
There's so many ones to pick from. Let's see here.
I don't because I'm a collector. So I have all of the stuff from this movie. Weird Science.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's so
I bought when eBay came out and people started putting stuff on eBay, I had like a search. Like every day it would email me stuff that got listed that had Weird Science. There's a comic book called Weird Science. So I get a lot of this Weird Science comic book. But every once in a while it would be like, I got like a press kit. So when the movie came out, when they were promoting the movie, they mailed out a press kit to all the newspapers and stuff like that to give you like a synopsis of the movie and pictures of all the actors.
Oh, that's
so I've got
cool.
all these old black and white pictures. They're 8x10 black and white pictures of all the people, all the characters in the movie. I found an original copy of the script. So I have the script, which is very different from the movie. If you read the script that was written for the movie, it's got jokes and stuff that didn't make it into the movie and stuff. So I've got tons
You have that?
Yeah. I've got a copy of the script. I've got a copy. I bought like, because it was filmed with actual film cameras.
Right.
So at some point, someone took like actual footage and they put it in like a collector's thing.
Right.
So I have like actual film that was filmed from the movie of one of the scenes. Like
that's heckin'
where
cool.
you can see like all the individual pictures that make up the scene.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's got like 5 or 6, whatever, 8 frames of the movie, and I bought that on eBay. Yeah,
man, you're like a real fan.
Yeah, I went crazy. Yeah,
I'm like,
and then I used to have all this stuff hanging up in my garage and stuff.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's what I bought it all for.
I don't feel like I have a favorite. Like I have like almost all of the
Just
80s
a
movies
list
that I
of
watch. I
them?
just have a
Yeah.
list. Like I don't have one that I'm like, oh my God, that's my absolute. Because there's ones that I like a lot. There's ones I kind of like. There's like ones that you can't not have. So I don't really have one that I would pick.
What about actress?
Well, first of all, I don't like actresses. I like men. So hey. So I would, pick like male leads that I would like, but like I don't have any like favorites. Like there's no one that I'm like, this is my guy. Like this is my thing from the 80s. Like, no.
I loved Molly Ringwald.
I knew that you were gonna say that.
And I
16 Candles.
love 16
I knew you were
Candles.
gonna say it. I knew you were gonna say
And
it.
Pretty in Pink.
Yeah.
And
That makes sense.
yeah.
That so fits because you're a girly girl. So all that makes sense.
Yeah.
But everything that John Hughes did, he made all of those movies.
Right.
St. Elmo's Fire.
Yeah.
and
St. Elmo's
Breakfast
Fire
Club.
is on the
That's
top
the
of
one
my
I
list.
didn't like I don't
I
think we
love
were
it.
the target audience of that. That
I
was
love
more
that,
for like
though.
college age
Yes.
kids,
I
and I
still
was looking
loved
for
it.
a high school movie.
Mhm.
I still loved it though.
But,
It was so
yeah, I
great.
did not really dig the St. Elmo's Fire, but Breakfast Club.
What's this
Breakfast Club.
one with the radio?
Say Anything? No.
Say Anything.
Is it
yes.
Say Anything?
That's that's
John
John
Cusack.
Yeah. All
Yeah,
the,
that's
the
a good
John
one.
Cusack stuff that he did back in the
Great.
80s. Yeah.
Great.
What's the one? Oh, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh yeah, and we saw that on rerun a gazillion times.
Yeah.
I was always running on TV.
One of the crazy things is if you look at how many of these movies that we're naming that were released in 1985,
That was like the big
dead
year.
center right in the middle of the 80s. If you look at the number, just look at like the top 40 songs from 1985 and the top movies released in 1985, you'll go like, what were they doing for the rest of the 80s?
Right.
Because every one of these movies that we're talking
It's
about
85.
are from 85.
What about Goonies? When did Goonies come out?
85?
Because I love Goonies
I
and
love Goonies.
I love Lost Boys. When did Lost Boys come out?
That was later.
Yeah,
I want to say that's a
Is that a 90s
89
90 movie.
Goonies
I really
is
like-
1985.
Okay.
Oh
No
my
fucking
God.
way.
I'm not
What
kidding.
about Lost Boys?
We've been through all this on our podcast.
Who were you on the Goonies?
I didn't really have a character.
No, I'm the cheerleader.
Of course you are. It's
Let's
gnome.
see, Lost Boys.
I'm the leader of the pack.
87.
Whatever the hell his name was. 87. Okay.
87.
Yeah.
Oh my
And I
God.
watched Lost Boys a bunch one summer with my friend Teresa because she loved it because she was really into vampire stuff. So
Mhm.
she read like Anne Rice's Vampire Diary thing or whatever. She read all that. She read all the vampire stuff. So she was obsessed with Lost Boys.
What was the other one?
What was his name? Kiefer Sutherland?
Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one that's dad looks like your dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. He looked very similar to him.
I love the 80s movies.
Dennis Sutherland.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that what is that?
Yeah.
What
That's
his
the one
Mhm.
that used to remind me of your dad.
name?
Oh, my goodness. Whose turn? No,
Greg.
that was
It's
my
Greg's turn. Yeah. It's Greg's turn.
Let's see. How about questions here? You guys have stolen a couple from me. So if you could go back to the mall in 1985, what store would you go straight to?
I would do the t-shirt store that would make the t-shirts for you. So
custom shirts.
Yes, custom shirts. And it had that smell. So when you'd come into the mall, right where it was at, it had that smell of vinyl.
Yeah.
And I never could buy anything there, but I always wanted a shirt from there that I could get custom made.
Yeah.
So I go back there right now and I'd get something really rad.
Yeah.
But I feel like I've relived that with all the stuff I've had you make for me.
Yeah. Now we can make anything.
Now I can make anything I want. So like basically we're doing that.
International imports was cool, but I would think memory wise, one JCPenney's because that's where we had to school shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Macy's I would never even walk near
No, we
because
couldn't even
you
go into Macy's.
couldn't even go in there.
Right.
Wilson's jacket.
Oh, yeah.
Jacket store.
Yeah,
like
Just the smell of walking by that. Talk about a
the
smell.
smell.
Walking
Cool.
by Wilson's.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah.
What about you, Greg?
I don't really know.
Probably the arcade.
There was an
Oh,
arcade.
I didn't know there was an arcade there.
Yeah, we had an arcade at the Vintage Fair Mall. Even when I worked there, it was across from where I worked. Because I worked in the 1 Hour Photo.
Mm-hmm.
And straight across from us was a shoe store.
That so fits
No.
that you worked
And
at
then
a
there was a
freaking
Burger
photo place.
King.
Where
and then
was
the arcade.
Where was the 1 Hour Photo?
Where all the food court is now.
So
Second
C's
level.
Candy is right here.
Right
so
ne-
then
Yeah.
right next door.
It was C's Candy, then Software Etc., which was like a computer software store, and then the 1 Hour Photo. I think it's a Chinese food place or something now.
Yeah.
Mm.
And they turned the whole thing into the food court. But
Yeah.
that was, I guess what's on the end down there, I think it's a burger joint. So closest to the door on the opposite side was the arcade. And right next to that was the Burger King.
Oh my God. That's right.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
when you're in the
It
Burger
was
King, you
super
could
dark.
see it.
Yeah, it was super dark inside that
Yeah.
arcade.
Oh, weird.
It was like a
That's
black cave.
The Vintage Mall was rad when we were kids.
Yeah,
though.
It was.
It was
super
so
dope.
rad. It was so rad.
Remember
trying
they
to
used to do that thing where they would park a truck and people would have to stand there with their hands on the truck, and whoever was the last person to take their hands off the truck won it.
Dude,
they did it
that's
like once a
cool.
year.
Well, that's hella
I
cool.
think I remember that.
I would definitely try to win that.
Yeah, right?
Can we do that again? Brett Steves, please bring out a truck to the Vintage Strip Mall so we can play this game.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I want to win it. Okay, so last one. If you could relive any full day from your childhood, what day would you relive?
Oh, jeepers.
Yeah, we're going to end on a positive note.
I think I know. 1988.
Damn, he even has a date.
Yeah, I probably still have the ticket. I could look up what date it was. Let's see. I could tell you exactly what the date is. Let me do a quick. Monsters of Rock was the first concert I ever went to
Oh, that's so cool.
at Candlestick Park.
Wow.
And it was the first time I ever saw Metallica. It was my first concert. I went with the Rippin' Christian kids I was talking about. And we drove, my friend Clint had a Volkswagen bus with no seats in the back.
Oh
So
my
we're
God.
sitting on the floor, like 12 dudes
Oh my
on the
God.
floor of a Volkswagen bus with my friend Clint driving. We had so many guys in this Volkswagen bus, we could barely make it up the Altamont. We're going like 35 miles an hour
No
up
way.
the Altamont in this
No
Volkswagen
way.
bus.
God.
1988,
Such a
Monsters
great
of Rock.
memory.
1988, Candlestick Park, Metallica, Van Halen, Scorpions, Dokken, and Kingdom Come.
Wow, what a great first
Wow.
concert.
July 17th, 1988. Would it be 88?
Is Scorpion Winds of Change? Is
Yeah.
that, are they saying that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
What was your first concert?
My first concert was Robin Trower.
What is that?
Robin Trower was a single guy that just was a solo act. And I saw him with a biker when I was 13 years old in Modesto on Pellendale. And there used to be like a little theater there. I don't know if you guys remember on Pellendale. There's the Circle K, and then where now, I don't know if it's still there, but where Hometown Buffet was, there was like a little theater, small little thing there. So we went there. He was playing with a little band. It was really dark in there, and everybody in there was smoking weed. So that was my first concert, was Robin Trower.
Robin Trower in Modesto.
Mm-hmm. It was very sketch, to say the least.
My first concert was Cyndi Lauper.
See, that's awesome.
And then
You guys had awesome concert
and
experiences.
then Janet Jackson.
What the hell?
Mhm.
Did your mom take you to those?
Who did you go to? Cyndi
Cat,
Lauper?
I went with Mom and Terry Asia,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think.
Terry.
That's so cool.
And then Janet Jackson, Kathy was with us for that.
that
there's-
is so cool.
When we dig through pictures at Mom's one day, I'm pretty sure there's pictures of it. But
That's so
those were my
cool.
first two concerts
Those
ever.
are great concerts.
Yeah.
You cannot beat that.
That wouldn't be the day that you want to relive.
No,
What
no.
would be your day?
What's your day you would relive?
I don't know. I would think it would be a lake day when we
Yeah,
were
those are fun.
all a family. When Dennis and Debbie would come out there, all
Uncle
the
Bob with the jet
cousins,
skis and-
Corey, Uncle Dwayne. I would go back to a day when we were all a family.
Yeah.
I think so.
Out at Woodward.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those were good days.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Water skiing and jet skiing.
Yeah. Forrest, Justin, Aaron. Like
We did a lot of
Ed.
camping trips. I always talk
Yeah.
about those too, the camping trips and stuff with all the camping crew
Mm-hmm.
with
The Bynums.
the Bynums and stuff. Yeah.
When I was at the funeral, the Bynums were there, and nobody recognized me in the whole place.
Right.
And so I got a lot of people coming up to me going, "Oh my God, you're Gina Gallup." And I'm like, "Oh my God. Hello, Feather." Yeah.
That's funny.
Nobody knowing. A lot of people are just staring like, who is this person? Who is this person? The Damianos, Nathan was there.
Yeah.
Just staring. And I think Adam introduced me like, "Do you know Nathan Damiano?" I'm like, "Yeah, because he's my neighbor growing up."
Grew up across the street.
And then Nathan's like, "No, I don't think so. I'm all Nathan. I'm Gina. Remember me?"
He was like, what the heck?
Yeah, he was floored.
Yeah.
Rachel and who was
Jared.
Jared. Yeah, Jared Damiano.
Yeah, when our court would fill up with water, and then we'd be like the beasts out there in the water, like animals.
I love it.
Yeah.
And yours?
I don't have like the exact day or time, but what I would relive is sitting at my grandma's kitchen table, eating her food, watching her smoke a cigarette and drink her coffee, and just talking with her. That's what I would relive, is a moment with my grandma. Yeah.
Those were nice when grandma would come pick us up and rescue us for the weekend, and you got to go stay at grandma's house in a mobile home park.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
those
like
were
that.
pretty
Her
luxurious.
3-wheeler bike that we could ride around. And for some reason, it's either my memory or a TV show memory, but we could ride the 3-wheeler bike around, had a basket.
Yeah.
And was there a laundry place where they could hang like sheets and stuff, and we could just ride the path through there?
Yeah.
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 I don't know why my grandma always seemed like she was very old. And now that I think about it, she was probably, how old was she when she lived in the trailer park?
I mean, how much older is she than Gail? I mean, Gail's only 17 years older than me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I'm going to say somewhere around there.
So it's like 35, 37 years older than us.
How does that register in your brain to know that your mom is only 17 years older than you?
Right.
And 20 years.
And you know, you're only 17 years older than
Marcus.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, it's hard to like imagine that, but it's true. Like, we're young, older people.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, when our parents were our age, it was very different.
They seem very old.
They seemed old.
I was telling the story last time on the podcast about Grandma Dorothy.
Mm-hmm.
Did she decorate her house in Santa Clauses everywhere all year long? This is my memory of that house.
That's the only time we ever went there.
Yeah, I know
That's just
that.
the
I
only
thought
time.
that.
No, because we used to swim over there.
Yeah, we
Aunt
didn't,
Linda
but I
would
think-
take us there because she had a slide.
Yeah.
And we would go there. I just always remember her house being dark,
Yep.
red,
Pekingese dog.
and Santa Clauses everywhere. That it was strange.
Maybe that was her collector thing.
Yeah.
That's what I thought
original
too.
German Santa Clauses or
Yeah.
one of those kind of things, or she was like a doll collector. Maybe something like that.
That's kind of cool.
And she always seemed like she was
old,
100 years old,
and not nice.
No.
She wasn't like a sweet grandma.
No.
She was kind of a harsh grandma.
Not a sweet grandma.
Like not mean.
No.
Right.
But very
Stern.
direct and stern. Yeah, to the point.
Yeah. But she was like an old young grandma too. That
And she was always by herself. That was the only, like, I don't ever
She not have a
remember
husband?
her
Was
having
there
a
a
husband. I don't
grandpa?
think that
No, I don't
he had
remember.
died or something when they were younger, and she was basically a widower or a widow as long as we ever knew her. Because I remember visiting her house when we were little. We came up here for Easter or something and stayed at her house when we were little. It was the first time we had ever even come to Ripon. That's what I must have been when they decided. I'd love to know the story
Oh.
because I know Dad used to work at Tieman's gas station.
I didn't know your dad worked there.
I think when we first
moved here, my dad worked at that service station. That was my second job
way.
after Pionburger.
I did not know that.
Oh my God, I forgot Pionburger.
I worked for Steve Tiemann, and he was I got to see him at Linda's funeral.
Steve Tiemann was
I walked up,
goated.
I said, "Hey, what's up, Steve?" He just looked at me.
Oh, wow.
Greg Gallup. He's like, "Oh, hey," and he still didn't remember. It's like, "I used to work for you." He's like, "I don't even remember that. I worked for him for a whole summer. He used to pick me up and drive me to work
That's
every morning."
funny.
And he didn't even remember that I worked for him.
But like, think about how many guys he probably had over the years that worked for him. So.
Oh my God. Remember Madison Dairy?
We were just talking
Madsen's
about that.
Dairy was the best.
Madsen Sunrise Dairy.
Yeah, it was rad.
It had a
The
drive-through.
Your
That
mom
you
would
could
get the
just-
slushy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and you could just drive through and not get out of here. You get a pack of smokes and a chocolate milk, and they would just bring it to your car. It was like a 7-Eleven that you didn't
It
have to
was
get
so
out of your
cool.
car for.
It was cool. I
That
love
was
Madsen's
cool.
Dairy.
What sucks is that they tore it down, and now it's just a dirt lot for the last 10 years.
I know. I wish it would
Why didn't
still
you just leave it there?
Yeah. Let it do its thing. Well, I think they sold it, right? So they sold the lot and then they tore it down.
You should rebuild it.
No, God, no. I have enough problems. I don't need 99
A drive-through dairy.
Yeah,
Oh
no.
my gosh. Wow. That's weird when you
I
have
wonder what that
flashes.
place looked like in the 50s or 60s.
Oh, I
when
bet it was
built,
really
like
cool.
What it was like.
I bet it
and
was really cool.
It was probably the coolest place in town.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. We got planes going over,
What was
guys.
that?
Well, this
my
was a
goodness.
fun little question mini.
Yes.
Thank you guys.
absolutely.
Greg, thank you for being our guest today.
Absolutely.
Yes,
And
Anytime.
you know, for last podcast, give Andy our love. Thank you so much. Today we took a step back into the nicknames, the snacks, and the silly stories that made us who we are. Those childhood memories, the good, the goofy, they remind us of the joy. And guess what? It still is joy. So hold on to the fun, share your stories, and celebrate the little things that shape you. This is Mighty Moe, reminding you, feel blessed, be blessed.